After dropping 4 of their last 5, the Prowlers look to get back on track, visiting the last place, Delaware Thunder. Good evening, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'm up between the benches above the scorekeeper's booth tonight and right down next to the action. Should be a good one as the Prowlers trying to snap out of a bit of a funk that they've had over the month of February, but they turned the calendar over to March and maybe a new leaf moving into the rest of the season. We'll get to more of that on the pregame show coming up. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
Adventures await you at the award-winning DoubleTree by Hilton Port Huron. Experience the breathtaking view of sailboats and freighters, framed against the background of the impressive Blue Water Bridge, all from the comfort of your elegant guest room balcony. Planning a wedding? The DoubleTree by Hilton has the perfect setting to celebrate a marriage with its wonderful landscaping and beautiful reception area. So whether it's a romantic getaway, a family vacation, or a company outing, sweeten it with a view to remember at the DoubleTree by Hilton, Port Huron.
Back here in Delaware, just about 8 minutes away from puck drop, as the Port Huron Prowlers visit the Delaware Thunder. It should be a good matchup tonight, as again the Prowlers coming in trying to get out of a funk, having lost 4 of their last 5, and that includes a sweep at the hands of the Danbury Hat-Tricks last weekend in Danbury. The second game, a 7-3 final in favor of the Hat-Tricks. Johnny Ruiz with 4 goals took over that game, and it was 7-0 Danbury through almost the entire game. Past the final media timeout, it was 7-0, but Prowlers got 3 back in the final few minutes to salvage a little bit of positive thoughts out of that game. Meanwhile, for the Thunder, also suffered a sweep last weekend, but theirs was at the hands of the Watertown Wolves. That second game, a 9-3 final, as the Wolves ran all over the Thunder. And that came after a 6-1 victory for Watertown the night before over Delaware. Both of those games here at the Delaware Fairgrounds Center Ice Arena. So the Thunder outscored 15-4 by the Watertown Wolves in their matchups last weekend. Let's take a look at what all that means for the standings now, as the Prowlers and the Thunder are sitting lower in their divisions than maybe they would like. Of course, the Thunder still in last place in the Empire Division, as they've been for most of this season, while the Prowlers fall from 3rd to 4th in the Continental, being jumped by the Motor City Rockers after Motor City swept the Elmira Mammoth last weekend. So Prowlers now looking up at the Motor City Rockers in the standings, although the Prowlers certainly do have the advantage as far as strength of schedule remaining the rest of the way. The Prowlers schedule certainly much easier than the Rockers schedule, but you still have to play the games, you still have to get the wins, and that's what the Prowlers are looking to start tonight. And they will see a bit of a familiar face tonight, as Austin Weber is a member of the Delaware Thunder. He began the season with the Port Huron Prowlers, playing 4 games. He had a fight in those 4 games, but no points. Now with Delaware, 37 games, 5 goals, 15 points with the Delaware Thunder for Austin Weber, and he's leading the team with 41 games played this season. That's between the Prowlers and the Thunder. And for Thunder fans, they will be seeing a bit of a familiar face as well, as Joe Devaney makes his return to Delaware. He had a brief stint here last season when he spent 2 weeks in Delaware, played 6 games, picked up 10 points in those 6 games. All 6 of them here at the Delaware Fairgrounds Center Ice Arena. 3 of them actually came against the Port Huron Prowlers, where Devaney had 7 of those 10 points in those 3 games. He ended up finishing tied for 10th on the Thunder in points at the end of the season, despite playing just those 6 games. Well, the Prowlers have a new face in the lineup tonight. it's Colton Lancaster, who they signed this week out of Western New England University, the third player out of Western New England that the Prowlers have signed in the past couple of weeks. Of course, Demetrius Stefano and Jason Diamond, neither of whom are here tonight. They were signed last week, and they played for the Prowlers against the Danbury Hat-Tricks, but it's their goaltender, Colton Lancaster, who led the Commonwealth Coast Conference in saves during the 2022-23 NCAA Division III season, who gets his opportunity with the Port Huron Prowlers here this weekend. 6-15-1 with a .379 goals against average and a .902 save percentage in the college season for Colton Lancaster. Let's take a look at the Prowlers lineup tonight. The forward lines will be an even 3 lines, no 10th forward for the Prowlers tonight, and an even 6 defensemen, no 7th defenseman for Port Huron. Frank Schumacher did not make the trip. He's still injured after leaving the beginning in the first period of the first game between the Prowlers and the Danbury Hat-Tricks last weekend. It's going to be Dan Chartrand joining Evan Foley and Joe Devaney up front. Sam Gagnon, who was re-signed this week, he joins Matt Graham and Dalton Jay on the second line. And the third line will start tonight. That's Austin Federley, centering Torrey McLean and Matt Stoya. The defense pairs, Alex Johnson and Dylan Thackeray. Brian Parsons and Dustin Henning also paired together. In the starting pair tonight, Gino Mini and Adam Hainsel. In net, it will be Colton Lancaster getting the opportunity to start in his first pro game. So they're announcing the starters for the Delaware Thunder here at the Thunderdome, and let's give them to you. It's going to be Houston Wilson Alex Basie and Rasmus Asp on defense for the Thunder tonight. Houston Wilson starts up front with Denis Gafarov and Danila Milishkin. And in goal will be Spencer Kozlowski. More on him in a minute, but we get to the anthem. With the anthem finished, let's take a look at our starting goaltenders for tonight's game. We already mentioned who they're going to be. It's Colton Lancaster and Spencer Kozlowski. Both of them signed this week by their respective teams. Lancaster out of Western New England University and Kozlowski out of New England College. And they will get their first professional starts tonight against each other. as Lancaster comes in wearing number 39 for the Port Huron Prowlers after leading the Commonwealth Coast Conference with 780 saves this season. Kozlowski will wear number 1 in the crease to our right, lost his final 5 college starts and tied the one before, but he's looking for his first victory in his first professional start. Austin Federley getting set for the faceoff against Houston Wilson as the Prowlers and the Thunder are underway here from the Thunderdome. It's worked into Thunder territory. Here's Wilson feeding a long pass up. That goes off of Gafarov's stick and right to Lancaster. He'll get his first touch and cover up just 14 seconds in. Lancaster, after playing his last 3 seasons at Western New England University, again including this 2022-23 campaign, which just finished up for him, also played juniors before that in the BCHL, SJHL, and the NCDC. Rasmus Asp, number 77, curls away and avoids a check from Torrey McLean, but McLean on the puck, down on a knee. Prowlers keeping the forecheck on. Big hit there from Wilson on Austin Federley. Thunder look to move up the ice. Rink wide pass comes to Gafarov. Gafarov, pull-up move, still on the puck. Feeds it to Wilson, but pass was behind him. Wilson walks in, fires off a stick. Lancaster couldn't control it, and the rebound pushed just wide. Whistles blow, and a cross-checking penalty is being signaled. Looks like it will go against the Port Huron Prowlers. And it's Torrey McLean who picks up the penalty. So the Prowlers quickly to the penalty kill, which is ranked 9th in the FPHL. We are looking at the FPHL's lowest 2 penalty kills tonight. Prowlers ranked 9th, the Thunder ranked 10th. Delaware's power play is 9th in the league at 15.2% this season. Off the draw, Dustin Henning able to fire it all the way down, chasing after it Dan Chartrand, as well as his opposite number 21, Andrei Ivanov. Here's Gafarov, leaving it off for Milushkin. Milushkin steps through into the offensive end. He rims it all the way around. Houston waiting for it. It's a down low towards TJ Delaney. Comes all the way back up to the near side point to Milushkin. Milushkin up high to Ivanov. Back to Milushkin. Walks in, fires. Blocked by Henning. Delaney to Milushkin on the near half wall. Up high Ivanov, all the way across to Wilson. In the slot, Gafarov tried to put it on net. I don't think that made it all the way to Lancaster. That one did, and he makes a good save there. Chartrand slowly skates it out, and he dumps it deep. Prowlers switch up the killers just halfway through this Delaware power play. It's Milushkin. Wilson almost turned it over to Dalton Jay. He's able to get back on it. And now up to Milushkin. Up the right wing side into the zone. Stops up. He leaves it there for Eric Melso, number 5. Now Marquis Grant Mentis, excuse me. It was turned over to Jag. Grant Mentis fell down. And now it's Rasmus Asp, the Swedish native, holding behind his own cage. Now up to Grant Mentis, who has been here for about a month, but he's been a bright spot for the Thunder since his arrival. Former Columbus River Dragon. Grant Mentis gets to the slot, and he takes the shot, easily held on to by Colton Lancaster. 11 seconds to go in the penalty to Torrey McLean. 17-18 left in period number 1. No score here at the Thunderdome. Eric Melso lining up for this faceoff. Former Mississippi Seawolf scored against the Prowlers in Baton Rouge on January the 2nd. Now here's Austin Weber, the former Prowler. We talked about him in the open. Penalty about to expire. Prowlers start a rush. It's Evan Foley playing it off the backboards. Now Melso leaves it for Asp behind the net. Asp Try to give it back to Melso. Comes out towards Devaney. He whiffed on the bouncing puck. Thackeray tried to come in to make a play on it. Now it's Grant Mentis with 3 Prowlers back. He's all by himself. And Grant Mentis head up. Tried to feed it all the way across. Comes to Delaney. Poked off his stick by Chartrand. And now Dan Chartrand looking for Thackeray. He's got him at the red line. Dylan Thackeray into the zone. Gave it over to Devaney. Pass just a bit too far out in front. Now shot comes in from the point. Cut off by Chartrand. Devaney curling on the wall to Federley out front. And he just lifted it high on the backhand. He had some space on that near side corner. Just couldn't pick it on the short side. Left there, Federley right on it, out front, and Stoya couldn't get that one to go. Comes all the way into Prowler territory. Delaney and Parsons get there together. Chopped up the near side boards. McLean able to feed it up to Austin Federley. Has some help, gives to Stoya. Stoya all the way across looking for McLean. That was blocked on the way through. Now Stoya in front, and a good save there by Kozlowski on Austin Federley on the doorstep. Out high comes to Parsons, wrists it on and gloved and held by Spencer Kozlowski. 15:34 to go, period 1. Prowlers PK is perfect so far, no score yet from the Thunderdome. It's the Graham line out there going up against Rocco DiCostanzo's line, the Comac, New York native from out on Long Island. Here's Jay below the goal line. Dalton Jay pulls up, outside shot, stopped by Kozlowski. Graham on the rebound. Sam Gagnon, excuse me. Parsons just able to keep it in. And Alex Basie back in the lineup, wearing the full fishbowl. His last game, December 27th in Danbury, when he suffered an injury in a fight against Daniel Amesbury. Meanwhile, it's Jacob Wolf with an outside try, and Lancaster has that one covered for a whistle. And it says 14:59 to go in period number 1. I believe we're scheduled for a timeout, and we will indeed take one. No score yet between the Prowlers and the Delaware Thunder here in Harrington. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
I've worked at Pioneer and now Corteva for 36 years. It goes by very quickly.
This is a pretty noble profession where you're giving back to humanity.
Curiosity is so important. I learn something new every day.
What's that next challenge that may occur for farmers? You do really feel like you've got an impact on what's coming.
I can see how we're making things better.
And we have the best solutions for our farmers. And I think we're here to feed and fuel the world. I'm proud to be part of that culture, and I'm proud to be part of the company.
No score yet in Harrington between the Prowlers and the Delaware Thunder. Let's take another look at the goaltenders in net for both sides tonight. Colton Lancaster and Spencer Kozlowski, who were both signed this week out of college. Of course, Lancaster spent this season at Western New England University, his third there, and Kozlowski at New England College. This was his 5th season at NEC, and both of their seasons ended fairly recently, so they make the jump to the pros, the Prowlers and the Thunder respectively, as we're just about to get set for a face-off to Lancaster's right. Melso and Foley in the circle. Pops out for Grant Mentis. Now Foley, try to work it up the boards. Grant Mentis has it back. He cycles it low to Delaney. Delaney up the boards. Took a funny hop there away from Devaney, but the Prowlers able to poke it out. It's Charlie Bedard who's back with Delaware, signing back today. Began this season with Vermilion County in the SBHL, but was a member of the Thunder last season. Although, took a bit of a detour to get back here this year. Here's Chartrand into the zone. feeds it up the wing, quick shot, and that one stopped by Kozlowski. That was Adam Hansel jumping into the play. Rimmed all the way around. Devaney. His pass cut off by Milushkin, but his headman feed missed Gafarov and flies all the way down for an icing against the Thunder. 14:02 to go, period 1. And the Prowlers with an offensive zone face-off trying to get on the board first. They send the Federley line out there. Gafarov is split out wide in the far side face-off circle. Alex Johnson over there to meet him. Federley and Wilson, the ones in taking the draw. Milushkin takes it off the face-off. Tried to send a pass over to Gafarov. Johnson cut it off. Gafarov leading this Delaware team in goals and points. And his centerman, Houston Wilson, leading the team in assists. The dangerous line for Delaware. Gafarov just had that one hop off his stick. Gafarov cycles it down to Milushkin. Milushkin curling away. Got around McLean. Has a man open back door. He gets it there, and Wilson fanned on the one-timer. And the Prowlers get a bit of a break there as Houston Wilson was wide open on the backside. Asp sends it around in J.C. Moritz's direction. Now it's Weber up to Asp. Rasmus Asp with a long-range try. Missed it wide. Wolf gets it deep. Now Dustin Henning up to Matt Graham. Graham working into the zone. Tried to make a pass back. Gagnon overskated it. And Delaware gets it out. It's Wolf with Henning back. Wolf pulls up, shoots, and a save by Lancaster. Parsons back up the other way. Stoya up to Graham. Leaves it to Parsons. And Brian Parsons dumps it in, goes after it himself with Ivanov. Ivanov rims it this side. Jay cut it off there. Now Gagnon up high to Hansel. He wristed it on. Saved by Kozlowski. I think that one changed directions. Hansel again wrists it on, and this time Kozlowski has it in the glove. 12:17 to go, first period. Prowlers get a couple of shots there from the point, but Spencer Kozlowski able to handle both of them. Port Huron is actually trailing Delaware on shots right now, 6-5. Again, 12:17 to go in the first period. Evan Foley's line out there now for the Prowlers against Eric Melsos for Delaware. Faceoff sat there for a moment. Hansel put it deep for a second. Prowlers still battling to keep it in at the line, and they do. Foley couldn't find Devaney down low. And now Grant Mentis through center. Grant Mentis surrounded, takes an outside shot, and Lancaster makes the save. Grant Mentis knocked it out of the air, just put it wide though. Now Minnie over to Hansel. He has plenty of space and gives a rink-wide feed to Joe Devaney. He finds Chartrand. Dan Chartrand stepping in, saved by Kozlowski. Chartrand rims it around towards Devaney. Got through him. Minnie able to keep it in at the point. Fed down low to Evan Foley. Out to Devaney. Now Foley again steps out, shoots. Save, and the rebound was there. Devaney goes into the corner, taken down by Toivo Hannakainen. Hannakainen rims up the boards. Here's Johnson. His shot deflected and didn't get all the way through. Foley down to Chartrand, leaves it behind the net to Devaney. Chartrand again in the corner, steps out all the way across. Johnson shoots, and Kozlowski comes up with a big glove save. All Prowlers these last couple of minutes, and Spencer Kozlowski making some big saves to keep us scoreless with 10:59 to go in period one. Austin Federley's line coming back out for the Prowlers for this offensive zone face-off. Asp rims it around the boards to Milushkin. Up to Gafarov. Poked off his stick. Johnson tried to get through. Malushkin turning it back. Malushkin dumps it around Johnson, goes after it himself. He and Thackeray bump. And now McLean gets it to the near side. Wilson first on the puck. Houston Wilson up high to Asp, has all day. Saved by Lancaster. He may have made a second there on the rebound. And now Matt Stoyle with the toe drag, able to get it out of the zone. McLean steps by his man, Torrey McLean to the net. And a save by Kozlowski. He's got it for a whistle. 10:14 to go in period number 1. And Colton Lancaster coming up with a big save on his end. And we mentioned Alex Basie, again back for the first time since December 27th when he suffered an injury in a fight with Daniel Amesbury. Sits 5th in FPHL history in penalty minutes. He's wearing the full bubble tonight, so don't expect him to drop the mitts anytime soon. Gagnon put it out in front. That got caught up in some skates. Now Gagnon trying to take it away from Weber. It gets through, and now Ivanov, or excuse me, that's Di Costanzo into the zone. Took a hit there from Brian Parsons. Puck still there, and it was knocked down by a Delaware glove, and they're calling a hand pass, although the Thunder disagree. We will head to a timeout. 9:45 to go in period number 1, and still no score from the Thunderdome. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
Adventures await you at the award-winning DoubleTree by Hilton Port Huron. Experience the breathtaking view of sailboats and freighters, framed against the background of the impressive Blue Water Bridge, all from the comfort of your elegant guest room balcony. Planning a wedding? The DoubleTree by Hilton has the perfect setting to celebrate a marriage with its wonderful landscaping and beautiful reception area. So whether it's a romantic getaway, a family vacation, or a company outing, sweeten it with a view to remember at the DoubleTree by Hilton, Port Huron.
.9:45 to go, first period here in Delaware, and still no score between the Prowlers and the Delaware Thunder. Faceoff will be coming down to Colton Lancaster's end. He stopped all 7 shots that have come his way in this first period. Prowlers up on shots on goal so far, 9-7, and they've taken 6 of the last 7 shots in this game. Faceoff actually does come outside of the zone because it was a Delaware hand pass that stopped play just before that TV timeout. There's Austin Weber in his own end. Weber wearing an A on his sweater. Comes up to Wolf. Wolf turns the corner. Good save by Lancaster. Graham clears away the rebound. Couldn't flip it out towards Gagnon. Graham has it again. He gives to Dustin Henning. Jay one-touches it along. Comes to Ivanov at his own blue line. And now it's sent into Delaware Prowler territory. Graham trying to get it right back out. Turn it over to Grant Mentis. His long range try. Stopped by Lancaster. The rebound. Lancaster got there too. Colton Lancaster looks big in net, and why not? He's 6'3", 250 pounds. Dalton Jay all the way across looking for Parsons. Comes back across. Here's Jay, winds and fires a wrist shot that goes off of Kozlowski. Grant Mentis starting a rush. Grant Mentis tried to set it down low. Adam Hainsel sliding and blocked it. Now Hainsel head up. He'll try standing behind the net and waiting for something to open up and some skating space. Chartrand able to deflect it in. It's Bedard. Around to Hannakainen. Gives it to Grant Mentis. Now up to Melso. Melso had it poked off his stick. Devaney on the puck. Gives to Gino Mini. Now over to Hainsel. Foley tips it in. Chartrand and Hannikainen after it. Comes around, Foley stops it. Hansel couldn't put it on net. Drops right to Evan Foley. Devaney cycling it to Foley down low. Now Chartrand moving up the boards, hassled by Hannikainen. Devaney took a hit there from Hannikainen. Puck squirted out. Prowlers couldn't move it on net though. Hansel knocked it down with his glove. And Adam Hansel wants to say that Adam Hansel was the one that knocked it down with his glove, and then he was the first one that touched it, so there shouldn't have been a hand pass call against the Prowlers because you're allowed to touch it if you're the one that knocked it down with your hand. So I guess the referees forgot which Prowler it was that knocked it down with the hand. But either way, it's a face-off just outside of the Delaware zone. Despite the protest from Adam Hansel, so both teams disagreeing with a hand pass call early on in this game. 7:31 to go in period one, and now Austin Federley is being thrown out of this face-off. Now being taken by the much taller Matt Stoya. Turned over by the Thunder. McLean on net, stopped by Kozlowski. Asp goes around to Moritz. J.C. Moritz, long-range pass finds Gafarov. Now on to Malushkin. And another hand pass being called here. So hand passes all around here in Delaware at the start of this one. Austin Federley back in for the face-off. This time he'll go against Houston Wilson. And we'll see if Federley will end up taking this one. He does. Comes into Delaware's territory, but Wilson able to turn it back up. Malushkin up the left wing side, tried to dance through Thackeray. Stoya came back to take the puck. Torrey McLean one-on-one with Asp. McLean takes the outside. Now Asp takes him into the corner boards. Now Stoya off the turnover, shoots, hit the post. He beat Kozlowski but couldn't beat the iron. Gafarov the other way. Pulls up, sent a pass down low. That one went right through the crease as Malushkin was looking for Wilson crashing the net. Kozlowski leaves it behind his cage for Ivanov. 6.5 minutes to go in period number one. Parsons up to Jay, he tips it in. Graham after it with Ivanov, and Ivanov able to work it to Weber. Weber makes the short pass to DiCostanzo. He pushed it just wide. Basie back in. DiCostanzo to Wolf. Up high, Basie's shot off of Jay's stick. As Dalton Jay was coming up to the point to block it. Puck out in front, only finds Matt Graham. Gagnon, though, turned it right back over to Weber. Here's Weber. Feeds it to Volt, back to Weber, and he couldn't get that one to go. Wolf and Henning battling for the puck. Dustin Henning wins that one. He's able to get it out of the zone. 5.5 minutes to go in period number one. Long lead pass up to Matt Graham. He shoots, and Hannikainen able to get a stick on his. Graham tried to catch the Thunder in a change. 5:29 to go in period number one. And Matt Graham bidding for his 14th goal of the season, but Hannikainen with that long reach at 6'3", able to get a stick on it off the bench. Offensive zone face-off coming for the Prowlers. And Grant Mentis was just a bit quick to try and jump it. So he'll kick Melso out. Now comes up the boards to Melso, flips it on towards Grant Mentis. Minnie able to get there first. Hansel. D to Minnie. Now up to Devaney. Looking for Chartrand. That one deflected in off of Bedard's stick and covered by Kozlowski. Whistle comes with 5:08 on the clock in period number 1, and another offensive zone faceoff for the Prowlers. Neither team able to break through yet. We're still scoreless. Chartrand and Melso, the ones in the faceoff circle this time. One cleanly back by Chartrand. Here's Minnie. Tried to step down, couldn't get that one all the way on net. Minnie able to keep it in. Devaney rips one just wide. Hainzel, his shot blocked. Chartrand comes in to keep it alive for the Prowlers. Comes to Devaney in the corner. Head up, he steps out, takes the shot. It's blocked by Bedard, popped high in the air. And Kozlowski able to get it with the glove. He hangs on for a whistle. 4:42 to go in period number 1. It's the Prowlers nothing and the Delaware Thunder nothing. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. Good evening, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Freeborn cutting to the net. Save, rebound, score!
Every goal.
Back to Jay. Wrist shot, he scores!
Every save.
Going the other way, Papandrea. Saved by Hoffman. The rebound. Another one.
Every hit.
Good hip check.
Every
Fires, and he scores!
single
Michael Haskins, cutback, heading with another good shot, and then a left. Oh, boy.
game.
Cardinal poked away by Hoffman, and the Prowlers win it.
The Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Subscribe now.
Back here in Delaware, still scoreless between the Prowlers and the Delaware Thunder. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining us tonight as the Prowlers travel to Delaware for a 2-game set this weekend. It's the end of a 5-game road stretch for Port Huron, currently 1-2 through the first 3 games. They'll play here in Delaware tonight and tomorrow, and then return home next weekend against the Elmira Mammoth to start a long homestand. One back by Federley, left for Stoya. He gets it on net. Kozlowski makes the save. It's a face-off play we've seen work for the Prowlers. Dan Chartrand got a goal on it last time the Prowlers were in Motor City. Comes into Johnson, looking for McLean heading towards the net, just not enough juice on it. Thackeray able to keep it away from Gafarov. Now Thackeray up to McLean. McLean took a hit there from Asp. Puck comes to Johnson. Now Federley shoots, and a save by Kozlowski. McLean in front. Stoya put it off the side of the cage. Stoya and Asp get there together. Rasmus Asp up the board, stolen away by the Prowlers. Stoya sent it all the way through. Johnson tried to poke it in the direction of the net. Puck still bouncing around down there. Stoya finally able to recover, looking for Graham, and he couldn't handle that hot pass. Now turned over to Graham, and a glove save by Spencer Kozlowski, who's putting on a show in this opening period for the Delaware Thunder. A number of turnovers there by Delaware. The Prowlers still cannot beat the rookie out of New England College. 3:37 to go in period number 1. And if you want another similarity between Kozlowski and Lancaster, as Parsons gets it deep, here's Graham. We'll give it to you in a moment. Gagnon couldn't feed it out in front. Graham playing it off the back of the cage. Now Ivanov feeds it up to Wolf. Sauces it over. Weber kicks it along. He and Parsons go after it. Sharp angle try, and Parsons is down in a heap in the corner. Play continues, and Lancaster makes a couple of good saves. That last one on Austin Weber. Parsons thinks he got a stick up high, I believe, as he's checking his mouth for blood. But no penalty is coming. But as I was saying, you want another similarity between Kozlowski and Lancaster, besides the fact that they played college hockey in New England this season. They're both from British Columbia. Kozlowski from Vancouver, and Lancaster from the small town of Lumbee, British Columbia. Ivanov leaves it for Basie. Now on to Wolf. Basie rims it around towards Weber. Weber to the near side. Wolf into the zone. Feeds it to Melso. Eric Melso chopped at by Parsons. Gagnon and Weber on the puck. Weber turnaround try. And Lancaster has that one. Jay chips it out. Hannakainen over to Melso. Delaware in the midst of a change. Here's Grant Mentis fresh off the bench. Marquis Grant Mentis couldn't get it deep. Adam Hainzel looking for an outlet pass. He finds Devaney at center. Joe Devaney tried to dangle around Hannakainen. Hannakainen right on it. Chartrand with a steal and Kozlowski with the save. Chartrand behind the net. Put it out in front. Kozlowski got the paddle down. Now Minnie and Grant Mentis racing for the puck, and Gino Minnie uses that long reach to get there first and poke it out of the zone. Under 2 minutes to play in this first period. Here's Evan Foley giving over to Hainzel. Al Wilson got it into the zone, but Prowlers there. That one dumped straight out, and Port Huron will go back to the penalty kill. A delay of game penalty coming against Dan Chartrand. So the Prowlers shorthanded for the second time in this period with 1:44 to go in period number 1. Send out Federley, Stoya, Graham, and Henning to start this one. Matt Stoya will likely act as a defenseman, or Austin Federley will. Both of them have been known to play defense, although it looks like Stoya will be the one acting as a defenseman for this PK. It's one back to Ivanov. Over to Milushkin. They're out there with Delaney, Gafarov, and Wilson. Here is Delaney. Didn't get enough on that pass, and Federley able to get it out. 90 seconds to go in period 1. It's left for Wilson. Wilson dumps it in right on Lancaster. Rebound comes all the way out to the point. Milushkin gives to Gafarov. Out high to Milushkin. Back to Gafarov on the near half wall. They switch spots, and Gafarov leaves it for Milushkin. Now comes out high to Ivanov, all the way across to Wilson. Back to Ivanov. The one-timer saved by Lancaster. Henning on the rebound, and he clears it off of Federley's stick. Under a minute to play in period number 1 as the Prowlers change up the killers. Dan Chartrand is out there, so I'm mistaken about who got the penalty. It was actually Joe Devaney who headed to the penalty box. So my mistake on that one. As Parsons took a hit there from Wilson. There's a penalty coming up. I don't know who it's against. I didn't see anything worthy of a penalty. And they're giving it to Brian Parsons on a slash. So 5-on-3 opportunity now for the Delaware Thunder with 37.4 seconds to go in period number 1. Thunder send back out that top power play unit, except instead of Ivanov at the point, it's going to be Rasmus Asp. The other 4 stay the same, although Asp lining up on the boards. Gafarov and Milushkin, the point men, on the face-off. Now Milushkin thought about stepping into it, and he gives over to Gafarov. 30 seconds to go in the period. Gafarov over to Milushkin. Poked away from him momentarily by Graham. Graham took a spill. Milushkin dangles his way through. Asp all the way across. Saved by Lancaster, robbing Delaney on the doorstep. And now Matt Graham has some space, and he'll just dump it in with 12 seconds to go. Big save there from Colton Lancaster, as it was a mini 5-on-2 for Delaware. Wilson back in with 3. Out to Gafarov. Shoots. He scores. And Gafarov beats the buzzer under a second up on the clock. And Delaware has a 1-0 lead on the 5-on-3 power play goal. The Thunder's leader in goals, Denis Gafarov, with his 22nd of the season. This is his first game since February 19th against Columbus. He didn't play in the series last weekend against Watertown. Still have to drop the puck here before we can end this first period, but for the Prowlers, ending it on a sour note. Again, under a second left in it. And that's going to do it for period number 1. Dennis Gafarov from Houston Wilson and TJ Delaney at 19:59 is the only goal of period number 1. And the Delaware Thunder head into the intermission with a 1-0 lead. Shots on goal in that opening period, 13 for the Thunder and 12 for the Port Huron Prowlers. And once again, it is 1-0 in favor of the Delaware Thunder. The playoff push is on, so make sure you look your best as you cheer on your Port Huron Prowlers. Located on the west end of McMorran Arena, the Prowlers official team store is open every home game all season long, featuring t-shirts, sweatshirts, including new styles, koozies, and more. Authentic and youth jerseys are also available while supplies last. Rep your team in style with gear from the Prowlers team store. 1-0 Thunder as we hit the first intermission here in Harrington. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. Back here in Delaware, just about 3.5 minutes away from the start of the second period, and it's the Thunder with a 1-0 lead on the Port Huron Prowlers. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. It's Denis Gafarov, the Thunder's leader in goals with his 22nd of the year, and that is the difference so far tonight. He scored it with 0.8 seconds up on the clock here at the Thunderdome as he just came into the zone and absolutely ripped one, picking the top corner above Colton Lancaster's blocker. And it was one of those goals that, you know, if there was a clock on both sides of the rink, you might think that the Prowlers would have played it differently if they were aware of how much time was left, because with that little time left, you would have liked to see one of the defensemen, I don't know which two defensemen were out there, but maybe one of them step up and try to force Gafarov to have to make a move where then time runs out as he makes that move. So unfortunately for the Prowlers, they cannot see the clock when they're defending the end to our left, because the only clock in the building here is over on our left on the wall. So if you're facing the Prowlers were facing the other end as they were facing our right side. You can't see any kind of clock. You don't know how much time is left. So there could be 10 seconds. There could be 1. They had no idea. But either way, you would have liked to see someone step up on Gafarov there. But that's in the past now, as he made it 1-0 Delaware. Prowlers did get a lot of good pressure in that first period, taking advantage of some Thunder turnovers to get some quality scoring opportunities, but it's Spencer Kozlowski who had a fantastic opening period, stopping all 12 Prowlers shots that were sent his way, making some real big saves. Of course, Matt Stoya also did hit the post at one point during that opening period off a turnover from the slot. So we'll see if the Prowlers can find a way to get past Kozlowski, playing in his first career pro game out of New England College. And they'll get to start doing that in just about a minute from now as the referees take the ice here in Harrington. Let's take a look around the FPHL, as of course this isn't the only game going on tonight, and 4 of the 5 games going on started all at 7:30, including this one. We start down in Columbus. The River Dragons and the Binghamton Black Bears tied at none late in the first period. Again, that one down in Georgia. We go to Danbury, where the Prowlers just were last week. It's the team they played last week against the team they're playing next week, and the Hat Tricks have a 3-1 lead on the visiting Elmira Mammoth in the final seconds of period number 1, although the Mammoth out shooting the Hat Tricks 14-9. The Carolina Thunderbirds are visiting the Motor City Rockers, and they're about to start period number 2. It's Motor City with a 2-0 lead on Carolina. Of course, the Prowlers are certainly tuned into that game as they scoreboard watch a little bit, with Motor City sitting 2 points ahead of them in the Continental Division standings for 3rd place in the division. And the team that ends up in 3rd place will likely take on the Carolina Thunderbirds, who are sitting in 2nd place. And the 4th place team will likely end up taking on the Columbus River Dragons, who are the top team in the Continental Division. One more game tonight. It's the Wolves and the Seawolves down in Mississippi. That one was an 8 o'clock start Eastern time, and it's Watertown with a 1-0 lead on the host Mississippi Seawolves about midway through period number 1. The Seawolves defeated the Binghamton Black Bears the other day by a score of 6-4 at home. Another big victory for them, and you have to think, if they didn't start the season as tough as they did, they might be in a much better position to battle for a playoff spot. Of course, if they were in the Empire Division, they'd sit just 9 points behind the Elmira Mammoth, who currently hold the fourth and final playoff spot in that division. But both teams taking the ice now. The Prowlers will have to be shorthanded for the next minute and 23 seconds. As Brian Parsons still in the box, 2 minutes for slashing. That goal from Gafarov, a 5-on-3 goal again with under a second to go in period number 1. Prowlers send out Foley, Chartrand, Stoya, and Henning for this PK. It's going to be the top unit for Delaware. Delaney, Wilson, Gafarov, Malushkin, and Ivanov. And we're underway in period number 2. Dustin Henning with a quick clear all the way down. Ivanov quickly over to Malushkin. Back to Ivanov. He heads up ice. Leaves it for Gafarov. Gafarov to Malushkin. Dumps it in, but the Thunder in a delayed offside situation. So Dustin Henning will hold as long as he can before he feeds Dan Chartrand at center. He'll finish the job, send it all the way down. 50 seconds left to go on the Prowlers PK. It's Gafarov. Leaves it for Malushkin. His pass over to Wilson was behind him. Dalton Jay on the shorthanded break. Here's Jay in, and he fanned on the shot. So the Thunder able to get away with that one as Dalton Jay just couldn't put that one on net. Wilson speeds up ice. Wilson around Henning. Stops up in the corner. Feeds it back to Gafarov off his stick. Ivanov back down low to Wilson. Now Delaney behind the net. Rims it up high to Malushkin. Malushkin. He tried to send it to the point. Hopped over Ivanov's stick. Final seconds ticking off of the penalty to Parsons. And the Prowlers have killed it off. So the Delaware power play just 1 for 3 now in the game. Weber couldn't get in. Here's Sam Gagnon. Plays it off the boards, chasing it down. It's Moritz on it. Rims it this side. Stoya right off the bench. Tangles up with Wolf. Graham battling in there. And Wolf sends it over to the far side. Minnie just keeps it moving forward. He took a hit there from Austin Weber. Comes in on Lancaster. He hangs on for a whistle. And now Wolf and Hainsel getting into as Wolf crashed hard to the net. A little extra pushing and shoving between those two. And a crowd gathering in front of the crease. Hainsel having a conversation there with one of the referees. And everybody separated. No harm, no foul, it looks like. So we'll stay 5-on-5, and the same 5 guys on either side will continue for this face-off in Prowler territory. And that face-off will actually be to Lancaster's right. It's DiCostanzo and Austin Federley in the face-off circle. Federley able to win it back. Hainsel around the net, up to McLean. Asp stepped up. Puck battled for on the boards, pulled out by Wolf. Federley keeps him from getting a net drive. And now it's Torrey McLean. McLean gets the puck into the offensive zone. Almost a turnover there as Asp tried to leave it for Moritz, but left it right in his skate. Now Federley put it on net from the point through traffic. And it's tracked and held onto by Kozlowski. 17:33 to go in period number 2. And no goals yet in this frame. Still 1-0 Delaware. Dan Chartrand will take this face off. The left-handed Chartrand trying to win it to Alex Johnson as opposed to the right-handed Evan Foley, who would have to win it on his forehand. Chartrand unable to win the draw, however. So it's fed all the way over to Delaney. 2-on-2 rush, but Delaney didn't enter the zone. Melso did, so Delaney forced to curl back with the puck. Delaney kicks it up to his stick. Melso had his pass go right to Alex Johnson. Now off of Chartrand's stick, comes all the way to Kozlowski, and he'll cover up for a face-off. 17:09 to go in period number 2. Prowlers keep the Foley line out there for the offensive zone draw. And this time it is Evan Foley in the faceoff circle to go up against Eric Melso out of Morrisville State. Not the only Morrisville State guy here for the Delaware Thunder. Johnson, or now it's Foley, excuse me. He dumped it in, went past the net, and icing called against the Prowlers. Charlie Bedard, another Morrisville State guy for the Delaware Thunder, along with Eric Melso. Now lining up on the boards, it's Andrew Little playing in his 3rd game as a member of the Delaware Thunder. It's the first time I'm seeing him tonight. He must be in there as the extra forward for Delaware, something the Prowlers do not have tonight. He's taking Gafarov's spot on this top line with Wilson and Malushkin. Foley and Wilson on the face-off, tied up there. And it comes back to Alex Johnson. Johnson up to Foley, tried to one-touch it along. Comes back, Devaney retreats for it. Plays it off with Chartrand sticking in. Ivanov slides away from Foley. Devaney able to block down that clearing attempt. Here's Foley in the corner. Out to Devaney, backhander saved by Kozlowski. And Thackeray just couldn't dive out to keep that puck in. Lancaster plays it up to Dylan Thackeray. Bit of a theme with Prowlers goaltenders this year is the willingness to play the puck outside of the crease. And Colton Lancaster showing he has just that. Here's Foley through the neutral zone into the offensive end, put it on net, steered away by Kozlowski. Pass up to Wilson, handcuffed him a little bit. Johnson gets the puck back in, but goes off his stick. Thackeray in his own end. Prowlers in the midst of a bit of a change here. Chartrand able to tip it along. Here's Johnson with Jay. Johnson gives it over there, but put it in his skates. Puck bouncing around down there. It's up in the air, and Kozlowski gloves it and hangs on. 15:33 to go in period number 2. Maybe Alex Johnson trying a little bit of extra passing there. Maybe could have just shot that puck. Say tried to give it over to Dalton Jay and ended up putting it right in his skates and killing the rush for the Prowlers. Moritz works it up the boards. Wolf taking hits there from Matt Graham. Henning wristed it on, and Kozlowski has that one in the breadbasket. He'll hang on. 15:24 to go in period number 2. Graham and DiCostanzo in the faceoff circle. Graham wins it back cleanly. Henning gets it deep. Here's Matt Graham. Leaving it for Gagnon. Continues the cycle on for Jay. Graham again. Stops up on DiCostanzo. Couldn't center. Weber has it ahead of Jay. Austin Weber trying to work his way out of the zone. Feeds it over to Moritz. That one deflected into Prowler territory, and Parsons will get there first for the icing. 14:56 to go in the second period. And the Thunder bench disagreeing with that icing call, but it looks like it will be upheld. And we'll have the face-off when we return. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
I've worked at Pioneer and now Corteva for 36 years. It goes by very quickly.
This is a pretty noble profession where you're giving back to humanity.
Curiosity is so important. I learn something new every day.
What's that next challenge that may occur for farmers? You do really feel like you've got an impact on what's coming.
I can see how we're making things better.
And we have the best solutions for our farmers. And I think we're here to feed and fuel the world. I'm proud to be part of that culture, and I'm proud to be part of the company.
14:56 to go, second period here in Delaware. It's the Thunder with a 1-0 lead on the Port Huron Prowlers. A crowd of 700 packing the house in Harrington. Thank you so much for tuning in back home wherever you are. We hope you're staying safe from the snowstorm in Port Huron or wherever you are. Hope you're keeping warm tonight. There's plenty of weather going on, again, in the Port Huron area. Prowlers with an offensive zone face-off. And it comes out. Here's Parsons curling away and dumping it right back in. Prowlers touch up. Federle goes in on the forecheck. DiCostanzo able to work it out to Wolf. Wolf goes to the backhand. Parsons able to shove him off the puck. McLean takes it and gives to Stoya. Stoya turned it right over to DiCostanzo. And now it's Weber to Wolf. Head up. He tried to put it into the zone. Now Henning with a long-range pass to McLean. Torrey McLean took a spill. Federle able to keep it in the zone. Played down low towards Stoya. Couldn't get it to his stick to take a shot. Hannakainen. Hannakainen up to Wolf. He sauces it out to center. 14 minutes to go in period number 2. Here's Matt Stoya working it back to Adam Hainzel. Minnie up to Chartrand. He tips it in. Hannakainen up the boards. Minnie able to take it there. It's sauced out there by Delaney. And now deep in Prowler territory, it's Minnie with a couple of Thunder players coming on the forecheck. Devaney's pass taken away, and now Chartrand dumps it around. Here's Devaney. Put it off the back wall. Chartrand to Foley in the corner. Curling away from Melso, up to Devaney. His shot whistled wide. Foley tried to put it back out in front, only found Grant Mentis, and now it's a 2-on-1. Grant Mentis has Delaney. Grant Mentis ran out of room. It gets the trailer, and they score. It's Delaney in the crease, able to muscle that one home, and the Thunder have a 2-0 lead. Boy, it looked like the Prowlers were able to force Marquise Grant Mentis to hold too long until they were able to get back. But TJ Delaney, the one who was able to force it home, his 7th goal of the season. Part of the deal with Elmira that sent Ryan Marker to the Mammoth. So TJ Delaney has his team up 2-0. As it comes right on net to Lancaster, he covers up for a whistle. 12:49 to go in period number 2. And the Prowlers with a bit of a mistake that cost them. That odd man rush cost the Prowlers. As Wilson and Graham are in the face-off circle. Johnson feeds it up to Matt Graham. Back to Thackeray. Now Dalton Jay back in his own territory. Jay head up, finds Johnson. Gagnon all the way across looking for Jay. Basie couldn't swipe at. Jay scores! Dalton Jay out-muscles Alex Basie, and he beats Kozlowski. The Prowlers cut the lead in half. Team high for Dalton Jay, his 26th goal of the season, and just a strong play from him to outmuscle the 6', 220-pound Alex Basie to get to that puck, and all he needed was one swipe to beat Kozlowski and make it a 1-goal game again. Prowlers trying to put it back in. As Johnson sent it wide of the net. Moritz there, took a hit from Jay. Puck goes up the boards. DiCostanzo just able to get it out. So delayed offsides in the works for the Prowlers. It's 2 goals in 26 seconds. Oh, icing is called, 36 seconds. 2 goals in 36 seconds for Delaney and Dalton Jay. Right now they're giving it to Sam Gagnon, but it should be Dalton Jay from Gagnon and Johnson. Right now they have it as Gagnon from Jay and Johnson, but I'm sure they will get that one fixed as soon as they can. Under 12 to play, second period. Asp gives it over to Moritz. He got it out, and Henning put it right back in. Here's Rasmus Asp. Deflected right back to Dustin Henning. Goes D to Parsons. Up to Torrey McLean. Into the zone. Puts it to the corner. Federley cycles to McLean. McLean all the way across to Henning. Put it on. Deflected out of play by Austin Federley as he was knocked down by J.C. Moritz. 11:25 to go, second period. And J.C. Moritz officially has about a foot on Austin Federley. 6'5", 225 officially J.C. Moritz. And Austin Federley officially 5'6", 150. But Federley still able to get a stick on that puck as it came through the slot. Unfortunately for him, just sent it out of play. Grant Mentis quick off the draw. Gets it back. Tried to feed it across. Ends up finding Hannakainen, who was trailing the play. But his shot rode off a stick and out of play. 11:15 to go in the second period. Defensive zone draw now for Port Huron. Evan Foley and Eric Melso to the face-off circle. Melso wins it back. Henning chips it by. 2-on-1 for the Prowlers. Devaney to the backhand forehand save by Kozlowski. To the point, Henning, who started that 2-on run with the good chip. Battled for in the corner. Bedard and Chartrand after it. Now Devaney to Foley to the point, Henning. Over to Parsons, sneaking down, saved by Kozlowski. He's out of his net. Foley in front, Devaney, and Kozlowski got that one too. Spencer Kozlowski with a few huge saves on this sequence alone. 2-on-2 scrum behind the net, pulled out by Chartrand. And a cross-checking penalty is being signaled. And I believe they have Dan Chartrand for it. So another power play coming for the Delaware Thunder as Dan Chartrand goes and sits in the penalty box. 2 minutes for cross-checking. Graham and Wilson getting set for the face-off in Prowler territory. Thunder 1 for 3 on the power play so far tonight. As Milushkin chipped it back, Kozlowski steers it away from an oncoming Dalton Jay. Here's Jay, able to cause some havoc, and he chips it deep in Thunder territory. Milushkin slowly up ice, has 4 teammates behind him, and he drops it off to Wilson. Wilson taken away by Jay. He couldn't bat it deep. Milushkin again, this time he'll take it himself, passes up to Delaney. His shot goes wide. And Stoya turned it over. Gafarov to the forehand. What a goal! Dennis Gafarov showing off the hands after picking off that clearing attempt. And Delaware back up by 2 with 9:54 to go in the second period. It's the second of the night for Dennis Gafarov. His 23rd of the year. And his team high 8th on the power play. Both of his goals coming by way of the man advantage tonight. So we're back to 5-on-5 as Federley and DiCostanzo take the face-off. Comes back to Basie. Now worked up to DiCostanzo. Thackeray goes around the net. Leaves it off for Alex Johnson. Johnson up to Federley. Kicks it up to his stick. And he enters the zone, but McLean just half a stride offside. 9:35 to go in period number 2. It is a 3-1 lead for the Delaware Thunder on the strength of Denis Gafarov's second power play goal of the night, and we will take a timeout. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
Adventures await you at the award-winning DoubleTree by Hilton Port Huron. Experience the breathtaking view of sailboats and freighters, framed against the background of the impressive Blue Water Bridge, all from the comfort of your elegant guest room balcony. Planning a wedding? The DoubleTree by Hilton has the perfect setting to celebrate a marriage with its wonderful landscaping and beautiful reception area. So whether it's a romantic getaway, a family vacation, or a company outing, sweeten it with a view to remember at the DoubleTree by Hilton, Port Huron.
.935 to go, second period. And it's a 2-goal lead for the Delaware Thunder. Denis Gafarov has a pair of power play markers in this one. Most recently knocked down a clearing attempt by the Prowlers, and with great hands dangled his way around Colton Lancaster and deposited it for his 8th power play goal of the year and 23rd overall. Both of those are team highs. Face-off will be just outside of the Thunder zone as Federley and DiCostanzo line up for it. Federley able to win it back. Here's Thackeray dumping it around. Federley in on Ivanov, pops out to Johnson, cross to Thackeray, wrists it on, blocked partially by Wolf, and then Thackeray able to glove down Weber's clearing attempt. Dylan Thackeray walks down the wall. He curls back, gives it up top Johnson, quickly down low to Stoya, as Thackeray took a hard hit there from Basie. McLean taken into the wall. Federley steps out. Here's Austin. Federley shoots. He just sent it wide. Federley to the backhand, looking for Stoya. He has to chase back after it. He turned it on net, gloved and held by Kozlowski. 8:43 to go in period number 2. Prowlers getting some pressure, but still looking to get themselves back within 1. Now trailing 3-1. The Foley line steps out, going up against Eric Melso's line, as they've done a number of times tonight. Delaney gets there ahead of Devaney. His clearing attempt blocked down at the line. Delaney again pokes it past his intended target. Now Chartrand chasing after that puck. Chartrand shoots off of Maritz's stick, and it flies out of play. 8:25 to go. Second period. Nice stick there from J.C. Maritz. Get on that shot from Dan Chartrand. Chartrand wins it back cleanly. Parsons stopped by Kozlowski. Henning chasing down that puck in his own end. It does get all the way to the line for icing, so we'll have another face-off down deep in Thunder territory. It's a clean face-off win there for Dan Chartrand, and Parsons got the shot off. And it was cleared straight down, so Chartrand will look to do the exact same thing. But Melso able to win it this time, and Asp curls it up the boards to Delaney. Delaney looking for Grant Mentis. Now Delaney back into the zone, tipped it around Parsons, excuse me. Melso knocked down by Evan Foley. Asp gets it deep. Now Parsons trying to work it up the boards. It comes behind the net. Evan Foley first on it there. And now Foley slows things down. He feeds Chartrand. Moritz now on the puck. 7.5 minutes to go, second period. Rimmed around, Chartrand able to keep it deep. Chartrand actually broke his stick on that hit from Moritz. Melso gloves it down at center. He waits for help. Stepped up on there by Parsons. Left for Grant Mentis, looking for the return feed for Malushkin. He's able to slip through a hit from Parsons. Malushkin still going. Takes one from Dalton J. Wilson weaving in and out. Wilson stops up behind the cage. Malushkin takes it on the boards. Cycles it down. Parsons tied up there. Two-a-side scrum on the near side boards. Graham trying to feed it up. It was knocked away. And now Sam Gagnon able to get it deep. Prowlers get in on the forecheck. Hannakainen rims it around. Jay stopped it there. Minnie at the point. Feeds it over to Hainzel. To the slot looking for Gagnon. That one just skipped past him. Jay almost took it away there from Wilson. Wilson has it back. Head up as he moves up ice. Malushkin back to Wilson, over to Gafarov. His shot partially blocked and the rebound slipped through the crease. Matt Graham is getting a penalty as he knocked down Wilson. And the Prowlers touch up. It was the back referee here in the neutral zone who put his arm up on that call. And the Prowlers in more penalty trouble as they take their 5th penalty of the game. Delaware right now 2 for 4 on the power play. And we'll let you know as soon as we know exactly what the call is against Matt Graham. So the face-off going to be deep in Prowler territory. Officially it's cross-checking as it comes down on my monitor here. Chartrand, Foley, Henning, and Stoya out there for the face-off. It comes over to Evan Foley. He'll skate it out as far as he can before he dumps it deep, and he'll chase after it with Ivanov. Malushkin to Ivanov. They have 4 minutes up on the board here. And it looks like Matt Graham picked up an extra 2 for unsportsmanlike conduct, so it is a 4-minute, 2 minor penalties against Matt Graham. Wilson steps in, looking for the backdoor tap to Gafarov. That one got through him. Ivanov to Malushkin. Walks in, shoots, kick save by Lancaster. And Dustin Henning able to sauce it all the way down to Kozlowski. 5:23 to go in the period. 3:14 left on the 2 penalties to Matt Graham. Again, 2 minutes for cross-checking and 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct. Gafarov forced back by Federley. Now Malushkin leaves it for Gafarov. Gafarov goes off the board. Stoya there first, and he bangs it off the glass all the way down. 2:45 to go in the penalties. 4:51 left in period number 2. Grant Mentis up the ice with speed. Grant Mentis into zone. His shot right into the catching glove of Lancaster. He'll hang on for a whistle. 4:41 to go in period 2. 2:34 left in the penalties to Matt Graham, and we will take a timeout. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. Good evening, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Freeborn cutting to the net. Save, rebound, score!
Every goal,
Back to Jay. Wrist shot, he scores!
every save,
Going the other way, Papandrea. Saved by Hoffman. The rebound. Another one.
every hit,
Good hip check.
every
Fires, and he scores!
single
Michael Haskell, cut pad, heading with another good shot, and then a left. Oh, boy.
game.
Cardinal poked away by Hoffman, and the Prowlers win it.
The Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Subscribe now.
Prowlers still on the PK as we get set to play with 4:41 left to go in the second period. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining us tonight in the crowded broadcast booth up here. A little bit of chirping between the Prowlers bench and the broadcast booth up here, as we do have a member of the Delaware Thunder, O'Reilly, who is on long-term IR, as I've been told, and they've asked him to do play-by-play on their live stream. Here's Grant Mentis through center, lost the handle. Jay trying to get on it, and Dalton Jay able to pull it out. Here's Jay walking around. Aspie shoots, and a save by Kozlowski with the blocker. Prowlers maintaining possession as they've just about killed off the first of the two minor penalties to Matt Graham. Here's Asp. He starts up ice. Tried to send it to the Prowlers blue line to D. Costanzo. He has him. Knocked off his stick by Parsons. Weber tried to get it deep. Instead pops to Evan Foley. He dumps it down. 3:46 to go, second period. Minute 37 left on the second minor penalty to Matt Graham. Parsons dangles around Foley. Or Weber, excuse me. Weber and Stoya go in together. Here is Brian Parsons with the puck now. He plays it off the boards all the way back to Delaware territory. Asp gets through center. Asp poked off his stick neatly by Stoya, and he sends it all the way back down. Prowlers PK looking strong on this Delaware opportunity. As Milushkin works in, Milushkin tried to dangle around everybody, but ended up just softly sending the puck on net, and Lancaster has no problems with that. 55 seconds left to go on the second minor penalty to Matt Graham. 3:03 left in period number 2. Prowlers looking to kill this off and then get back in the game. Port Huron has taken 6 minor penalties tonight. Delaware none, as Gafarov just shot it wide right off the faceoff. He's looking for the hat trick. Gafarov up high, D to D to Ivanov, and now Gafarov again shoots. Good save by Lancaster. Stoya gets it only to the line. Then Milushkin turned it over. Here's Dalton Jay by himself. He scores! Second of the period for Dalton Jay. This one short-handed, and the Prowlers back within 1. It was Milushkin who just kept in that clearing attempt from Matt Stoya, but then turned it right over to Dan Chartrand. He finds Dalton Jay streaking in by himself, and he makes no mistake as Dalton Jay picks up his team-high 27th goal of the season and his second of the period. So 29 seconds left on the Thunder power play. McLean able to take it away at center momentarily. Here's Weber into the zone. Austin Weber across, and they score. D. Costanzo gets it right back. Power play goal for Delaware. They restore the 2-goal advantage. And just like that, seconds later, it's the third power play goal of the game for the Delaware Thunder, who came in tonight ranked 9th in the FPHL with a 15.2% power play. 2:23 to go, second period. And they're having another look at that ice in Prowler territory. They were working on the ice in that spot at the beginning of the period. And Alex Johnson has requested the referee's assistance to, I'm not sure if there's a hole in the ice or what have you, but to patch up whatever's going on just above the tops of the circles and in the middle of the ice in Prowler territory. Marco Di Costanzo has his second power play goal of the year, 5th goal overall. And this is his first point with the Thunder, not against the Elmira Mammoth. He's split this season between Watertown and Elmira. He was claimed off of waivers back in January. Had 5 points in 6 games coming into tonight, and all of them coming back on the February 10th and 11th series between the Thunder and the Elmira Mammoth. And they're talking with the off-ice crew here at the Delaware Fairgrounds Center Ice Arena. And it looks like they'll wait until intermission to take care of whatever the issue is. And we'll have another face-off for the Prowlers as they once again find themselves trailing by 2. Stoya gets in, turned it over. Melso starting a rush the other way. Melso dumps it high in. Thackeray kicked it to the corner. Delaney took a hit from Thackeray. Now Austin Federley flips it high and out. That hit the roof, so they'll whistle it down with 1:59 to go in period number 2. And the face-off coming all the way back to Prowler territory. Federley out there against Houston Wilson on the face-off as the Thunder's top line goes up against the Federley line for the Prowlers. Malushkin on the near side boards, gives to Gafarov the one-timer, steered aside by Lancaster. And this time, the Delaware Thunder will head to the sin bin for the first time tonight. And it's Malushkin, the guilty party, as he has a chat with Alex Johnson. A slashing penalty is coming against Malushkin. So the Prowler power play gets its first opportunity, ranked 4th in the FPHL at 20.2%. While the Thunder's PK last in the league at 73.2% coming into this one. Prowler send out Chartrand, Devaney, Foley, Stoya, and Johnson. And the Prowlers take it off the draw, but Foley's pass split the defense, so that's as good as a Thunder clear. It's less time in the period than there is on this power play, as Chartrand steps back in. 1.5 minutes to go in period 2. Johnson down to Devaney. Devaney walks up the wall, feeds it all the way across to Stoya. Back to Devaney. Mishandles, controls it. Down low, Chartrand. Out high, Stoya. Wrists it on, just caught the back glass. Foley had it go through him. Comes out to Chartrand. To the line, Stoya. 1:05 to go in the period. Stoya over to Johnson. Final minute of play in period 2. Foley up high, Stoya wrist it, and that goes wide and comes all the way back to Prowler ice, where Johnson and Weber chase after it. 47 seconds to go in the period as Dalton J looking for 3, but a save by Kozlowski. Johnson over to Stoya. Stoya sauced it in front. Johnson with 30 seconds to go in the period. Dalton J and Torrey McLean out there now for the Prowlers. And Stoya unable to handle that pass. 20 seconds left in the frame. J over to Matt Graham, fresh off the bench. Final 13 seconds ticking off. McLean takes it below the goal line. 7 seconds on the clock. Up to J. J has to shoot, and a glove save by Kozlowski. And 2.1 seconds to go in period number 2. As the Prowlers get some good shots, but Spencer Kozlowski with a couple of good saves on Dalton J so far on this power play. Comes to the wall. Federley tried to put it on net, but time expires, and after 2 periods of play, it's the Delaware Thunder 4 and the Port Huron Prowlers 2. Shots on goal in that middle frame, 13 for Port Huron and 10 for Delaware, but 3 goals for the Delaware Thunder in that second period, the difference as they head to the locker room up 4-2. Thunder 3 for 6 on the power play so far tonight. The Prowlers will have 13 seconds of man advantage time when we return for the third period coming up after the intermission. Well, secure your seats for the Prowlers' next home game as they take on the Elmira Mammoth on Friday, March 10th, with puck drop at McMorran Place scheduled for 7:05 p.m. Tickets are available online at phprowlers.com/tickets or by calling the box office at 810-985-6166. That's online at phprowlers.com/tickets or by phone at 810-985-6166. Prowlers trail by 2 as they head into the third period. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. just about set for the third period of play here in Delaware, and the Prowlers find themselves somewhere where they certainly did not think or want to be. Think they would be here in Harrington as they trail the Delaware Thunder 4-2 as we get set for the third period. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining us tonight, and the stats don't look good for the Port Huron Prowlers as they are just 2-16-2 this season when trailing after 2 periods of play, looking for a 2-goal comeback. But for Delaware, what's been doing it for them has been the odd man rushes and the power play. A 3-for-6 evening right now for the Thunder on the man advantage. The Prowlers have just 13 seconds left on their first man advantage of the night. But Port Huron is looking to, again, mount a bit of a comeback here in the third period. Dalton Jay got them back within 1, but it was Denis Gafarov with his second power play goal of the night, making it 3-1. Jay brought the Prowlers back within 1 again with a shorthanded goal, but seconds later, Rocco DiCostanzo, again on a rush, got the Thunder back up by 2, and that's where we stand. But you look right now, 3 power play goals for the Delaware Thunder, including the DiCostanzo one, and 3 goals as well off the rush. Look at that first Gafarov goal off the rush. The TJ Delaney goal was also off the rush, and so is Rocco DiCostanzo's. So really, those are the 2 things that have been biting the Prowlers so far in this game. And the 2 things they'll have to clean up, they'll try and certainly staying out of the box is one of them. Before we get to this third period, let's take a quick look around the FPHL. We start in Columbus late in the second period. The Dragons and the Black Bears are knotted up at 1 apiece. Going to Danbury, it's 5-1 hat tricks. They lead the Elmira Mammoth. In Motor City, the Rockers have a 4-1 lead on the Carolina Thunderbirds as they get set to start the third period of play. And at the end of 1, in Mississippi, it's the Seawolves and the Watertown Wolves tied up at 1. Here in Delaware, it's 4-2 Thunder. As we get set for the third period of action, we're underway. Prowlers still on a brief power play, only for another 8 seconds. As Sam Gagnon carries in, he's muscled off the puck by Weber, who gets it out. And the Thunder have killed off their first penalty of the game. It's Alex Johnson walking down. He shoots, knocked down in front, and a good save there by Kozlowski as Sam Gagnon found that loose puck. That puck flies off one of the lights here attached to the roof and out of play, so the whistle blows. But Sam Gagnon found that loose puck but couldn't get it through the sea of legs, and of course Spencer Kozlowski, who has been great tonight as he has stopped a number of Prowler shots. 23, he stopped 23 shots through 2 periods of play, and then a couple more right there. Graham and Wilson in the face-off circle. Graham gets it back to Jay, saved by Kozlowski. Gafarov lost the handle. Gafarov recollects behind the net, sent it out in front, comes all the way to the line of Vanov with a long-range try. Right into Colton Lancaster. He'll hang on for a whistle. Just 44 seconds into period number 3. Evan Foley's line steps out there. It's Dan Chartrand taking the face-off this time. He and Foley have switched up the face-offs depending on which side of the ice the face-off is on. Chartrand, the left-handed shot. Foley, the right-handed shot. So both trying to make sure that they can take face-offs on their strong side. Foley slips past Asp. Foley in, and a save by Kozlowski. Devaney tried to work it up the wall. Goes deep below the goal line. Moritz puts Foley into the ground, and I believe Moritz is going to get a penalty. He will. Interference, the call coming, against J.C. Moritz. And a big chance for the Prowlers to get back into this game and make it a one-goal contest again with plenty of time to go in the third period. They head to their second power play of the night. Had 2 shots on the first power play. And that one ended just moments ago. Tied up there. And now Stoya gives it down to Devaney. Now back to Matt Stoya. Walks, gives to Johnson. Stoya at the point. Across to Devaney. Back to Johnson. And I think he hit the post. Devaney to Foley. Looking for Chartrand in the bumper spot. He was tied up, and Wolf able to get it down the ice. Stoya overskated the puck. Here's Wolf. And a couple of Prowlers come to Jakob Wolf to make sure he doesn't get an offensive chance. Chartrand into the zone. Down low, Foley. Back to Chartrand. Save by Kozlowski. He'll cover up for a whistle. Prowlers switch up the power play unit with 1:14 left on the man advantage, and we are just 2 minutes into period number 3. The Graham unit out there. It's Houston Wilson to draw against Matt Graham. Face off won by Graham. Wilson able to chip it out of the zone. Weber has a chance, and Lancaster with a good stick to keep it away from Austin Weber. McLean got into the zone, couldn't bring the puck with him. He's back over to Torrey McLean. He sends it deep. Graham over to Jay. Jay steps out in front, couldn't take the shot. Now Thackeray walks the line. Gives to Jay. Jay backhands it across to Graham. Tried to find McLean standing all by himself right in front of Kozlowski. Instead, Malushkin able to get it down. 32 seconds left to go on the penalty to J.C. Moritz. Now 17:15 left in period number 3. Thackeray steps up, gives to Jay on the near side. Jay to Federley. Back to Jay. Federley again. They play catch. Federley all the way across to Thackeray. Sent it down the boards. Basie able to step into it. Tried to sauce it forward. Comes to Federley. Puck back in Prowler territory. Back to 5-on-5. So the Prowlers 0 for 2 now on the man advantage. And unfortunately for them, a good opportunity to get back to a one-goal game goes by the wayside. Here's another good chance as Devaney's in. Devaney saved by Kozlowski. The rebound sits there. And Kozlowski has it underneath his arm. He's been fantastic in this game, and he makes another couple of good saves. It was Dan Chartrand who had that rebound opportunity, but Kozlowski able to stone him. Chartrand going to draw with Eric Melso. Comes to Devaney. Couldn't get the shot away. Poked off his stick by Delaney. Foley steps back in. Here's Evan Foley to the backhand. Saved by Kozlowski. The rebound pops to the corner. Foley up the wall. Cycles it for Devaney. Joe Devaney working below the goal line. Devaney finds some space. Gives to Chartrand. Chartrand up to Parsons. Looking down low towards Foley. Foley knocked down and the puck taken away by Grant Mentis. Comes back in. Chartrand just couldn't reach it. Gives up to Foley. Right back down to Dan Chartrand. Prowlers in the midst of a change. Chartrand gives to Stoya fresh off the bench. Stoya able to chip it around a couple of Delaware defenders. Stoya has it again on the far side. Chartrand behind the cage to Stoya. Saved by Kozlowski. The rebound ends up behind the net again. Hansel in deep. Adam Hansel. Power move. Gives to Chartrand. Chartrand tried to come out in front. Puck hops up in the air, and the Thunder work it back the other way. It's Grant Mentis looking for Delaney. Too far ahead of him. He and Parsons go into the wall together. Stoya looking for McLean. Pass was behind him. Now Asp overskates it. McLean tips it on, and Stoya couldn't catch up to it. Malushkin gets it up the boards. And the puck right back into Delaware territory, but offside is the call. Still 4-2 Delaware as we play early in period number 3. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
I've worked at Pioneer and now Corteva for 36 years. It goes by very quickly.
This is a pretty noble profession where you're giving back to humanity.
Curiosity is so important. I learn something new every day.
What's that next challenge that may occur for farmers? You do really feel like you've got an impact on what's coming.
I can see how we're making things better.
And we have the best solutions for our farmers. And I think we're here to feed and fuel the world. I'm proud to be part of that culture, and I'm proud to be part of the company.
.43 to go here in Delaware, and the Prowlers still with a 2-goal mountain to climb. Face-off will be just outside of the Delaware zone after that offsides against the Prowlers just before the TV timeout. Federley and Wilson in on the draw. Malushkin wins it back to Basie. And now Wilson feeds it up to Gafarov, to Malushkin, back to Gafarov. McLean off the boards and out. Basie feeds it across, gets through Ivanov, right to Austin Federley. Federley up to Gino Mini, walks in, saved by Kozlowski. McLean tried to go back to Mini, that was almost picked off by Malushkin. Mini dumps it back in. Wilson after it, McLean gets there first, taken into the wall by Basie. Wilson moves it up the boards to Malushkin. Goes up to Ivanov, but his pass to Wilson just out of his reach. McLean back into the zone. 13:39 to go in the period. Graham feeds it out in front. Stoya just ripped it wide. And now Wilson is in some pain in the high slot. He gets up slowly. Meanwhile, it's Thackeray. Thackeray wrists it on, gloved and held by Kozlowski. 13:21 to go in period number 3. Prowlers have the last 5 shots in this game, but all of them have been stopped by Spencer Kozlowski. It's the Graham line against Rocco DiCostanzo's line. Comes to the point, Johnson had his shot blocked. Austin Weber leaves it for Asp, up the boards. Johnson kept it in. Asp curling away from Gagnon, turned it over to Graham. Gagnon chases it down behind the net, took a spill. Asp double teamed there by Graham and Jay, able to get it to DeStefano. And now Asp takes a tumble. Fans want a penalty, they won't get one. Johnson takes Wolf hard into the wall. Wolf and Johnson battling for that puck. Up to the point, Hannakainen. That went off of Graham's stick. And Dylan Thackeray able to take it for the Prowlers. Wolf battling there on the boards. Graham from his knees. He couldn't get the call he wanted, and Grant Mentis with an outside shot stopped by Colton Lancaster. Dylan Thackeray collects on the near side boards. Thackeray forced back. His team in the midst of a change. He leaves it for Brian Parsons. Up to Chartrand. Deflects it along. Chartrand has it again. Walks in, fires, save Kozlowski. He'll hang on for a whistle, and Spencer Kozlowski is making himself a quick fan favorite here in Delaware, as he is up to 30 saves on the evening. Chartrand and Melso in the face-off circle. Melso able to win it, but they're going to do it again. A bit of a false start there against Delaware. I believe it was Grant Mentis on the far side boards that they caught with the false start. So this time it's Delaney drawing with Dan Chartrand. Worked up to Grant Mentis. Parsons keeps Melso from moving along. Here's Grant Mentis back into the zone. Grant Mentis lost it. Devaney up ice. He and Ivanov come together at the blue line. It's worked down to Basie. Now Melso feeds it out. It's Delaney one-on-one with Parsons, and Brian Parsons won't let TJ Delaney through. Henning, long pass up, looking for Chartrand. Evan Foley skates into it. Leaves for Dan Chartrand. Put it out in front, and that one may have rang the post. As Kozlowski looked behind him, Joe Devaney got a piece of it as he was sliding through the slot. Wilson just ices the puck. And the Prowlers will get an opportunity to change ahead of this offensive zone faceoff, and a tired group of Delaware Thunder will not get the opportunity to head to the bench for a breather. Prowlers moving quickly to the faceoff dot, and the Thunder taking as much time as they possibly can. And now Grant Mentis reached down like he was going to tie his skates, just trying to get any second he can to get a breather. Minnie gloved it down at center. He dumps it back in. Basie rims it around. It's McLean. McLean put it back on net. Stoya. Back to the far side it goes. Stoya picks up the rim on the near side. Sits there next to Kozlowski. Now McLean tried to get Kozlowski, and he couldn't. Gino Mini back with it. Up to Federley. Federley has McLean with him, takes the shot, partially blocked on the way through. Stoya tried to feed it out in front. Federley jamming away. Kozlowski finds it and gets the glove on top for a whistle. We are exactly halfway through period number 3, and the Prowlers already have 10 shots on goal in this third period, but have yet to beat Spencer Kozlowski in the frame, still trailing by 2. I thought we were going to a TV timeout. It seems we aren't. So we will have a face-off in Delaware territory. Face-off comes up the boards. Thackeray rims it around. Comes to the point, Johnson. His shot blocked on the way through. Now Weber. Comes over to Hannakainen, gets the red line, and just sends it over the glass and into the netting above it for a whistle. 9:42 to go in the third period, and this time we will take a TV timeout. Prowlers still trail by 2 as time ticks away in this third period. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
Adventures await you at the award-winning DoubleTree by Hilton Port Huron. Experience the breathtaking view of sailboats and freighters, framed against the background of the impressive Blue Water Bridge, all from the comfort of your elegant guest room balcony. Planning a wedding? The DoubleTree by Hilton has the perfect setting to celebrate a marriage with its wonderful landscaping and beautiful reception area. So whether it's a romantic getaway, a family vacation, or a company outing, sweeten it with a view to remember at the DoubleTree by Hilton, Port Huron.
.9:42 to go, third period. It's a 4-2 lead for the Delaware Thunder here at home, searching for win number 5 on the season and home win number 4. Meanwhile, the Prowlers trying to stop a bit of a slide here. They've lost their last 2 games. They're 3-7 in their last 10, and they are sitting at 21, 18, and 3, and have dropped to 4th in the Continental Division. Prowlers also lost 4 of their last 5. Face off one back by the Thunder. Comes over to Hannakainen. He plays it off of Little and deep. Matt Graham has Jay with him. Plays it off the boards to him. Dalton Jay couldn't get to the backhand. Hannakainen got a stick on it. Gagnon kept it deep. It's a scrum in the corner. An arm goes up. I'm not sure for which team. And we'll see. It is against the Thunder as they touch up. Interference is the penalty, and I believe they're whistling Austin Weber, the former Prowler. So the Prowlers go to their 3rd power play of the game and hoping 3rd time's the charm to get themselves within 1 goal. It's Chartrand on the face-off against Wilson. Chartrand wins it back cleanly to Stoya. Now Devaney to Matt Stoya. Sauces it down low. Foley able to work it up to Joe Devaney. Stoya, wrist shot blocked by Wilson. And Stoya just able to keep it away from Wolf trying to head up ice. Wilson able to complete the dump. 8:45 to go in the 3rd period. Stoya took a spill behind the net, but Chartrand cut off the centering pass. Prowlers back up the other way. Foley to Devaney. Back to Evan Foley. He put it on net, and Kozlowski leaves no rebounds. .8:29 to go, 3rd period. We're 40 seconds into this power play for the Prowlers, and they switch up the units as Matt Graham's unit heads out there. Graham and DiStefano, or DiCostanzo, excuse me, on the face-off. And now the puck goes deep. Popped up high. Graham just couldn't keep it in at the line. Sauces it to the near side. It's Dalton Jay. Feeding back up to Matt Graham. Poked off his stick by Rasmus Asp. DiCostanzo around Federley, and he scores. What a move by Rocco DiCostanzo. A short-handed goal gives the Delaware Thunder a 5-2 lead on the Port Huron Prowlers. It's DiCostanzo's 2nd goal of the game. His first one was his 2nd power play goal this season. This one, his 2nd shorthanded marker of the year. And the hill grows higher for the Prowlers to climb. The fans here in Delaware getting excited. 8 minutes to go in this 3rd period. The Let's Go Thunder chants beginning as they're able to get it deep into Prowler territory. It's Stoya up to Chartrand. Chartrand into the zone, feeds it across. Devaney shoots, saved by Kozlowski. The rebound, it's there, and a sliding block there by one of the member of members of the Thunder. That was Bedard. Now Foley on the back door, whipped on the shot, and it's cleared down the ice. Charlie Bedard just saved a goal as it was Kozlowski down and out, and Chartrand had an opportunity at the crease. Bedard got down to block it. Delaware going all out, looking for the 5th victory of the season. Foley on net, save by Kozlowski. The rebound pops out to Stoya. We're back to 5-on-5. Devaney had the puck taken away there. 2-on-0. Grant Mentis with Wilson. Grant Mentis couldn't feed it over to Wilson. And now Stoya back the other way on the counter. Matt Stoya poked off his stick. Here's Brian Parsons. Up to Graham. Couldn't tip it along to Jay. Grant Mentis turns it back on, looking for Malushkin. Parsons taken into the wall by Malushkin. Jay up to Federley, has Graham with him. Federley drops to Graham, back to Federley, and another save by Kozlowski. He's been fantastic tonight. Certainly one of the stars of the game for me is Spencer Kozlowski. Prowlers out shooting the Thunder 14-5 in this third period, 39-28 in the game, but trailing by 3 with 6:27 to go in the third period. Ivanov up to Grant Mentis. 2-on-1 now for Delaware. Comes to Melso. He shoots, saved by Lancaster. And he has it for a whistle. 6:14 to go in period number 3. And if this score stays the way it is, you have to think this is a bit of a low point for the Port Huron Prowlers this season, in a stretch of low points. But they certainly haven't played their best hockey since the calendar flipped to 2023. Talked about a January where they didn't play their best hockey. They went 2-4 in February. Now here we are in March. Federley to the goal, save by Kozlowski. Federley takes it at the red line, flips it in. Asp cuts it off. He curls up ice. Rasmus Asp trying to do it all himself. Here he comes. He's shoved off by Minnie. And now a penalty coming up against the Prowlers. Matt Graham is going to get it. He's not happy. And then Austin Federley knocks down Asp. He draws a crowd. Matt Graham is heading to the penalty box. And we'll see if anybody else is going to join him. They're pointing Austin Federley to the penalty box. Thunder fans cheering loudly as the frustration continues to grow for the Prowlers. 5:33 to go in the third period. Graham's penalty is up on the board. Officially 2 minutes for holding for him. And now Austin Federley's up there as well. And nobody on Delaware has been taken to the penalty box, so Federley gets 2 for roughing. A full 2-minute 5-on-3 coming for the Delaware Thunder in a game where they already lead it by 3. And they get the power play started. It's Malushkin. Malushkin over to Gafarov. Gafarov to Malushkin. Not in the wheelhouse for the one-timer, but he has the puck back. Ivanov to Gafarov. 2 in the game for him. Feeds it down to Wilson. Houston Wilson head up looking for a pass. Down low, Delaney comes to the back door. Now Gafarov, one more. What a save by Lancaster, reaching out the paddle of the stick. And the Prowlers clear it all the way down. Maybe 1 or 2 too many passes for the Thunder on that opportunity. And fortunate enough for the Prowlers, they don't give up another goal. Gafarov to Wilson. Comes out high to Ivanov. Gafarov again. Gafarov steps and shoots. Blocked by Dustin Henning. And if blocked shots were a stat kept in this league, Dustin Henning would certainly be amongst the leaders. Ivanov with a drive, missed a couple feet wide. Chartrand couldn't get it out. It does just come out at the line. And the whistle blows. We will head to a timeout. 44 seconds left to go on the penalties to Graham and Federley. 4:16 left in period number 3. You are watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. Good evening, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Freeboard cutting to the net. Save, rebound, score!
Every goal,
Back to Jay. Wrist shot, he scores!
every save,
Going the other way for Pandria. Saved by Hoffman. The rebound. Another one.
every hit,
Good hip check.
every
Fires and he scores!
single
Michael Haskins, cut pad, heading with another good shot. And then a left. Oh, boy.
game.
Cardinal poked away by Hoffman. And the Prowlers win it.
The Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Subscribe now.
We invite you to tune in to our next broadcast tomorrow when the Prowlers take on the same Delaware Thunder. Puck drop is scheduled for 7 p.m. and the pregame show starts at 6:45. It's all right here on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. They've put 2 minutes up on the board for Denis Gafarov. I'm not sure what exactly he did. I didn't see it. Officially, the call is hooking. Again, I didn't see the penalty, but the Prowlers will now just be down 1 man. It's a 4-on-3 man advantage for the Delaware Thunder at this point. Prowlers send out Chartrand, Jay, and Minnie. Chartrand won the faceoff to the boards, but Rasmus Asp, the only one there. He's out there with Weber, Ivanov, and DiCostanzo. And Weber shot that one high and wide. Chartrand chasing it down. Kozlowski all the way out of his net to play it over to Asp. Asp into the zone. He pulls up. Gives it over to Weber. Weber to Ivanov. Weber took a spill away from the puck. Maybe tripped over the blue line there. DiCostanzo up top to Ivanov. His shot blocked partially on the way through, and it pinballs to Lancaster, who has it with the glove. Graham and Federley set to come out in 2 seconds. Minute 19 still up there for Gafarov. That math doesn't make sense to me because it was 22 seconds when on Graham and Federley's penalties when Gafarov went in there. So maybe Graham and Federley's penalties didn't start when they should have. The clocks didn't start when they should have, but either way, they're out of the box now. Johnson feeds it down to Federley. Wilson plays it between his own legs, gets it out of the zone. Right now it's a 5-on-4 Prowlers power play for another minute. Devaney works in. Poked off his stick. Alex Johnson backing him up. Stoya around the net. Matt Stoya with his head up. Continues his tour. And now gives off to Devaney. Johnson back to Stoya, the one-time blast. Blocked by Wilson, the rebound. Risen high by Devaney. And now Johnson's pass to Devaney. Blocked by Grant Mentis. Devaney with good body position, able to get that puck first. 25 seconds left on the Prowler power play. 2:39 to go in the third period. Chartrand. Prowler's about to get another power play here as Johnson's shot flies out of play. Evan Foley was tripped away from the play, so it'll be 5-on-3 for the Prowlers with 15 seconds for the next 15 seconds, and then 2:31 now to go in period number 3. So things certainly interesting here, although the Prowlers, of course, do need 3. So even if they score on both these power plays, they'll still need 1 more. Torrey McLean in the face-off circle for the Prowlers. He'll face off against Jakob Wolf. McLean able to win it back to Federley. He gives to Thackeray. Back to Austin Federley. Down it comes to Graham. Federley again. Over to Thackeray, one-time blast. Stop. Thackeray walks in, taken away, and sent all the way down the ice. Lancaster out of his goal to play it. He sends it up to Dalton Jay. 5-on-4 advantage for the Prowlers. Jay works in, gives to Graham. Graham up high to Federley. Winds and fires. That one blocked by a couple of members of the Thunder. Thackeray. Head up, he gives to McLean. Torrey McLean cycling it down low to Matt Graham. Graham in front, comes all the way to Jay, just rows it over the top of the cage. Graham across to Jay. Shoots it just wide of that top corner. Federley out high to Thackeray. Over to Jay. All the way across looking for Federley. Broken up by Asp. And the Thunder have a rush shorthanded. Minute 20 to go, third period. Asp leaves it down low. Gafarov in there against Thackeray. Thackeray takes the puck. 42 seconds left on the Prowlers power play. Minute 10 to go in the third period. Prowlers need a miracle if they want to get any points out of this game. Comes down low. Devaney tried to put it out in front. Now it's McLean taking a hit there from Wilson. Final minute of play in the third period. Stoya over to Foley, has plenty of space. He walks in and just shot it off a stick and wide. Devaney down to Foley. Couldn't center that puck. Taken hard into the boards by Bedard. Now McLean put it on net. Puck sits there. McLean digging away for it. Devaney tried the turnaround shot, comes back out in front. Stoya sent it high and wide. 22 seconds left to go in the third period. Dan Chartrand takes it off the bench. And the Prowlers can't buy a goal right now as Kozlowski hangs on with 12.7 seconds to go in the third period, and the fans getting loud here in Delaware. 5-2 Thunder in the final minutes, or the final seconds of this third period. Frustration abound for the Port Huron Prowlers as Stoya tried to force it towards the net. Wolf takes it in the corner. Wolf dumps it out. Parsons will skate out the final seconds, and the Delaware Thunder have their 5th victory of the season as they defeat the Port Huron Prowlers by a final score of 5-2 here at the Delaware Fairgrounds Ice Arena. Final shots on goal, 45 for the Prowlers and 32 for the Delaware Thunder. And in his pro hockey debut, Spencer Kozlowski makes 43 saves against the Port Huron Prowlers, who are a frustrated and dejected bunch after the result of this one. Prowlers drop to 21-19-3. Their losing skid hits 3 games, and they still sit 4th in the Continental Division. We'll give you a look around the league in just moments, but first, just another reminder to tune in tomorrow when the Prowlers and the Thunder do it again here in Harrington. Prowlers will look to salvage a split out of a series where they came in looking for a sweep. Take a quick look again around the FPHL. Early in the third period, it's the Binghamton Black Bears with a 2-1 lead on the Columbus River Dragons. Motor City Rockers have defeated the Carolina Thunderbirds by a score of 5-1, so the Prowlers will certainly be in 4th place based on math at the end of this weekend. In the Continental Division, Danbury Hat-Tricks are on their way to defeating the Elmira Mammoth. They're up 5-1 late in period number 3, and the Mississippi Seawolves have taken the lead on the Watertown Wolves 4-3 as they play late in the second period. Well, it's a tough game for the Prowlers to find any kind of positives out of, as they announce Denis Gafarov as the third star of the game tonight. And we'll let you. So Rocco Di Costanzo is the second star of the game. You have to imagine that the first star is going to be Spencer Kozlowski, who made 43 saves in his pro hockey debut. Well, Prowlers trailed from the end of the first period on as Denis Gafarov scored with a second left to go in period number 1. And that just kind of sent things on a negative course for the Prowlers all night long, as Thomas Delaney made it 2-0. Dalton Jay got the Prowlers within one twice in that second period, but each time the Thunder responded. And Rocco Di Costanzo with the last 2 goals of the game, a power play goal and a shorthanded goal for him. As the Thunder, as we have a long list of penalties, all of them though minor penalties in this game. And the Thunder power play coming up huge, going 3 for 8 tonight. The Prowlers power play 0 for 5 tonight. Well, we do hope to see you tomorrow night when the Prowlers look for revenge against the Delaware Thunder. Again, puck drop is scheduled for 7 p.m. and the pregame show will start at 6:45 here on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. But for now, I'm Will Wiggleman. Thanks so much for joining us tonight, and we'll see you next time.